You Only Live Twice was released in 1967, with the series finally given some room to breathe after the back-to-back films that came before it. And that additional production time is clear to see in what was certainly the biggest Bond adventure yet. You Only Live Twice is epic in proportion, only fitting for being Sean Connery's swan song. Okay, well, it was supposed to be. Author Roald Dahl was brought in to write the screenplay, being a friend of Fleming, though the film bears little resemblance to the original novel. Neither did it contain any snozcumbers or Oompa Loompas. Instead, Bond is sent to Japan to explore the culprits behind American and Russian spacecraft mysteriously disappearing in orbit, heightening Cold War tensions and pushing the superpowers ever closer to war. Connery's exhaustion surrounding Bond was now clearly visible on screen. Though there's nothing overwhelmingly terrible concerning his performance, it's a lot more languid and lethargic. As cliché as it sounds, his spark which helped towards the series' initial success had faded. Was he bored? Perhaps, but in many cases he gives the impression he just doesn't want to be there. Conversely, Donald Pleasant's portrayal of Ernst Stavro Blofeld as number 1 is appropriately unsettling, his quavering little voice chiming away as his plan unfolds. The facial scar is just enough of a quirk to keep the character distinctive without being outlandish, as well as the terrified white cat of course. Audiences were left waiting 5 years to see the mastermind behind Spectre, and the results don't disappoint. What does disappoint, however, is what little screen time Blofeld is given. His appearance only really begins in the final act, as Bond infiltrates and is later captured inside the volcanic lair. A brief chat with 007 and a couple of murders later, he's gone, having set the base to self-destruct. It's such a massive waste of potential considering the build-up to this moment. Likewise, Blofeld's defeat is awfully pathetic. After stating,
"I shall look forward personally to exterminating you, Mr. Bond,"
it's revealed his method of doing so is planning to shoot Bond before riding off on his tram only to be shurikened in the wrist? Perhaps it's due to the sudden change of casting that Blofeld received so little attention. The role was originally given to Jan Verick, a Czech actor whose appearance is more in tone with the glimpses of number 1 that we'd seen in the past. On set, however, he was described as looking like a benevolent Santa Claus, and after a few days was recast to avoid the film becoming You Ho Ho Honey Live Twice. Oh, come on! Despite what little screen time the character had, it's a testament to the design and performance that Blofeld became the archetypal villain to be parodied countless times. The chair-swivelling, cat-caressing, pinky-placing traits have in themselves become so cliché, it makes watching You Only Live Twice slightly jarring to see them played without any shtick whatsoever. The film features stunning vistas of Japan. Little Nellie's aerial dogfight is completely overshadowed by the beautiful backdrop of Miyazaki, though the dodgy rear-projected close-ups don't help. We're also treated to scenes such as Bond's Rooftop Brawl, a one-take shot that comes completely out of the blue. Combined with Barry's tremendous score, moments such as these really keep up the film's momentum. And that's what stands out above all else in You Only Live Twice, the cinematography. Following on from the use of the widescreen format Panavision in Thunderball, Japan is captured beautifully by cinematographer Freddie Young. This is the same man who brought us such shots from Lawrence of Arabia, so maybe that should come as no surprise. Alongside Ken Adams' always impressive sets, the film is a sight to behold. Well, apart from the Asianing of Sean Connery, I'd rather not see that. John Barry outdoes himself for his 4th James Bond score. The film features such a tightly knit and well-crafted soundtrack, with a recurring motif throughout the whole film that stems from Nancy Sinatra's main theme, the beginning of which has to have one of the best introductions to any song. You Only Live Twice is a decent, but perhaps unfitting end to Sean Connery's period as James Bond. Wanting more challenging roles as an actor, as well as a fairer paycheck, he stepped away from the franchise. With that departure, he left behind some big shoes to fill, but the doors were now open for a new face to become 007.
You only live twice, Mr. Bond.
He said it! He said it!